How did one funny dinner joke turn into papers being handed to me in a busy lobby while strangers watched? Why did my husband stay calm, pay the bill, leave without a scene, and then end our marriage the lawful way? My name is Araminta Hale, but everyone called me Minty because it sounded light and easy. I worked as a customer success lead at a software company. I talked to clients all day, solved problems, and smiled on video calls until my face hurt. People at work said I was calm. At home, I wanted someone to see me as special, not just useful. Ethan was my husband. He was 36 and careful with everything. He checked numbers for a living and acted like life was a list to complete. I used to like that. It felt safe. After 7 years, safe started to feel like a cage. I told myself I was not the problem. I told myself I was just honest. That week started like any other. In our kitchen, the light was too bright in the morning. Piper sat at the table with her cereal and her school bag. Ethan made toast. I scrolled my phone with one hand and stirred coffee with the other. Ethan asked why I looked tired. I said I slept fine, and I said he was staring at me like a teacher. He said he only cared. I said caring did not need questions. He looked at my phone for a second. He asked who kept messaging at night. I said it was work, and I said our clients were in other time zones. He said my screen lit up after midnight. I said he remembered the time because he was waiting to catch me doing something wrong. I watched his jaw tighten. I liked that I could move him with one sentence. It made me feel in control. The truth was simple. Gavin from sales had started texting me for work. He was the kind of man who made normal things feel exciting. He sent memes. He sent voice notes about crazy days. He asked if I was still awake. I told myself it was harmless because nothing bad happened on paper. I said I deserved a friend. I said Ethan did not meet me where I lived. Ethan asked if we could have dinner as a family that night, just us. I said I had a late call. Piper asked if I could come to her class thing on Friday. I said I would try. Ethan asked if I could at least do pickup once this week. I said he was acting like I did nothing. He said he was not accusing me. I said he sounded like he was. He did not shout. Ethan almost never shouted. That made it worse for me. When he stayed calm, I felt like he was judging me with silence. I needed him to react so I could point at him and say, "See, this is why I am unhappy." At work, I walked into the open plan office like it was my stage. People waved. Someone asked if I was coming to the client dinner this weekend. I said yes, and I said I might bring Ethan because it would look good. I said it like a joke, but I was already planning something else. I wanted a room full of people. I wanted eyes on me. I wanted Ethan to feel small for once. Gavin passed my desk and leaned close like it was normal. He asked if I got his message. I said yes and told him to stop texting so late. He said he forgot because he liked talking to me. I felt heat in my face, and I decided it was not my fault. I told myself men always did this to me because I had energy. I told myself Ethan should be grateful I still got attention. Later, my manager asked if I could stay after lunch for a quick review. I said yes, but I used it as cover. I texted Ethan that I would be late. He asked if it was another emergency. I said it was, and I said he should not make me feel bad about being responsible. I met Gavin near the break area, close to the vending machines where people did not sit long. He asked if I was okay at home. I said Ethan was moody and insecure. Gavin said Ethan sounded jealous. I said he was jealous, and I said it was exhausting. Gavin suggested I should come for a drink after work. I said I could not. Then I said maybe. I told myself a drink was not cheating. I said the word cheating in my head like it was something ugly that belonged to other people. That night at home, Ethan cooked pasta. Piper showed me a drawing of our house with 3 stick figures. She drew a heart above it. My chest tightened, and for a moment I felt like I should stop. Then my phone buzzed, and the moment passed. Ethan asked if I could put my phone away at dinner. I said he was trying to control me. He said he wanted 1 hour of calm. I said calm was easy for him because he did not carry the mental load. He asked what mental load I meant. I said he knew, and I said he was playing dumb. Piper watched us and went quiet. Ethan looked at her and lowered his voice. He asked if we could talk later. I said there was nothing to talk about if he kept blaming me. After Piper went to brush her teeth, Ethan walked toward the hall. I followed, not to fix things, but to keep pressure on him. I wanted him to apologize first. I wanted him to admit he was wrong for questioning me. His phone was on the counter. I saw the screen wake up. A calendar reminder flashed for a second. It showed a place name and a time, like Riverside 9:30 a.m. Ethan came back and flipped the phone face down. He did it fast, like a reflex. I asked what that reminder was. He said it was personal. I asked why he suddenly had personal meetings. He said he had things to handle. I said he was hiding something. He asked why I jumped to that. I said because he acted secretive. He told me he did not want to fight. I said he always said that when he wanted to avoid the truth. He asked what truth I meant. I said the truth was that I felt alone in my own marriage. He said he was right here. I said being in the room was not the same as showing up. He went to the guest room and closed the door halfway, not fully. It felt like a warning. I stood in the hallway and listened to the quiet. I told myself I was the hurt one. I told myself Ethan was the reason I needed attention elsewhere. I still think I was right to want more, even if I chose the worst way to get it. My phone buzzed again. Gavin asked if I wanted to breathe this weekend. I looked at Ethan's closed door. Then I looked at Piper's drawing on the table. I typed back that I had plans, and I did not say what plans. The next morning, I texted Danny and told her to set up a dinner with friends, a real dinner, with people who understood me. I said Ethan needed to learn that I was not someone he could shame into silence. The next day, I acted like nothing big happened. I drove Piper to school and smiled at the teachers. Ethan walked behind us with her backpack like a quiet helper. In the car, he asked if we could talk after work. I said I had a lot going on, and he could not always pick the time. He said it was important. I said everything was important to him when he wanted control. At the office, I told myself I was the normal one. I said I worked hard, and I carried the family. That story felt clean in my head. I started using it more. During lunch, I met Danny at her salon. She asked what I wanted. I said I wanted a dinner with friends, something fun, something that reminded Ethan he was lucky. Danny asked if I was trying to fix things or punish him. I said both could be true, and I said a little pressure could wake him up. Danny said she could invite a few people. I told her to invite the ones who laughed the loudest. I said I needed a room that felt like a team. Back at my desk, Gavin walked by and asked if the plan was on. I asked what plan he meant. He said he meant the weekend and the dinner. I said he was mixing things. He said he only liked me and wanted me to feel good. I told myself that was support, not danger. I told myself Ethan did not give me that kind of attention anymore, so it was fine. Ethan texted me around 3 and asked if I could be home on time. I said I had a client issue and I could not promise. He asked if it was really a client issue. I said he was doing it again, and I said he should stop acting like my boss. He replied with a short message that he understood. I stared at the screen and felt annoyed because I wanted him to argue. I wanted proof that he was the problem. After work, I went to a rooftop bar patio with Danny and 2 of her friends. Claudia, Ethan's cousin, came too because Danny invited her. Claudia liked being around people and cameras. She asked if Ethan was coming. I said he was being difficult. Danny asked what I meant. I said he had started policing my phone and my past. I said he acted offended by jokes. I said I was tired of walking on eggshells. One of Danny's friends asked if Ethan was jealous. I said yes, and I said it was embarrassing. I said a real man could handle a confident woman. I watched their faces and learned what worked. When I used the word confident, they nodded. When I said jealous, they rolled their eyes. It felt like power. Claudia asked if Ethan had ever yelled. I said he did not need to yell to be cruel. I said silence could be controlled too. That was not fully true, but it sounded smart. Claudia said she had noticed Ethan getting quiet lately. I said it was because he wanted to punish me. Danny said he was acting like a victim. I agreed fast, because that was the best shape for the story. My phone buzzed with a message from Ethan. He asked if I could pick up Piper in the morning, because he had something early. I asked what he had. He said it was personal. I felt my stomach turn, and I told myself he was hiding things. I replied that I would try, and I added a comment about him finally having plans. At home later, Ethan was washing dishes. Piper was on the floor with her toys. Ethan asked how my night was. I said it was fine, and I said I needed a break from his mood. He asked what mood I meant. I said the mood where he stared at me like I was guilty. He dried his hands and asked if we could agree on a dinner this weekend with friends, not family, just to reset. I pretended it was his idea. I said we already had a dinner planned. He asked who planned it. I said Danny did, and it would be good for us. He asked if I wanted him there. I said of course, and I said it would show people we were strong. I said it like a gift, not a trap. That night, I went to our bedroom and saw Ethan on his laptop at the edge of the bed. He clicked away fast when I walked in. I only saw a clean file tree with names like Archive A and Archive B. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I said he had never cared about folders before. He said he cared now. I laughed and said he was finally learning. In the morning, I did school pickup and drop-off like a hero. I told myself I was proving something. Ethan thanked me, and I felt irritated by his calm voice. He asked if we could sit for 10 minutes after Piper went to sleep. I said maybe. I already knew I would forget. At work, Gavin invited me to a co-working lounge near downtown for what he called planning time. I knew it was not needed. I went anyway. I told myself it was networking. I said a career woman had to keep doors open. At the co-working lounge, Gavin asked if Ethan was still upset. I said Ethan loved being upset because it gave him a reason to act better than me. Gavin said Ethan sounded insecure. I said yes, and I leaned into that word because it made my choices look smaller. Gavin asked if I felt trapped. I said I felt judged. He said I deserved fun. I did not correct him. When I left, I saw Ethan had called once. It showed as a missed call with no caller ID, which was strange. I told myself he was being dramatic or using some app. I did not call back right away. I wanted him to wait. That evening, I found a sticky note on the counter that said to bring forms. It was in Ethan's handwriting. I asked what forms. He said it was boring and I would not care. I said he was acting secret. He said he was acting responsible. I rolled my eyes and told him he sounded like a robot. At dinner, Piper asked if we could all eat together on Saturday. Ethan said yes. I said yes too, but in my mind I saw the long table, the laughs, the faces. I wanted a moment where Ethan had to sit still and take it. I told myself it would teach him not to question me. I told myself I was defending myself. Later, Ethan stood in the kitchen and asked me a simple question. He asked if I was happy in our marriage. I said happiness was not the point, and stability mattered more. He said stability needed honesty. I said I was honest, and I said he was the one who could not handle the truth. He walked away and did not argue. I watched him open a drawer and heard the soft click of a lock. When he turned, his expression was flat and calm. I hated that look because it did not need me. I went to bed and texted Danny that Saturday had to be perfect and that everyone needed to be there. I added that Ethan would show his true colors in public if we pushed the right buttons. Saturday came fast. I spent all afternoon getting ready like it was a small show. I told myself it was just dinner, but I planned every detail. I planned my dress, my smile, and even the way I would touch Ethan's arm in front of people. I wanted the room to see us and believe my version first. Ethan picked up Piper from a birthday party and brought her home. He asked if Piper could stay with his parents for the night because the restaurant would be loud. I said Piper should come because we were a family and families did normal things. He asked if I was sure. I said he was always looking for reasons to make me look bad. He said he did not want a scene. I said nobody planned a scene. I acted offended, and he went quiet. At the restaurant, the long table was already set. Danny waved at me like I was late to my own party. Claudia stood near the end, holding her phone up as if she was checking the light. Noah, the manager, greeted us and asked if we wanted the same menu package as last time. I said yes, like I belonged there. Ethan nodded politely and thanked him. Noah asked if everything was okay because Ethan looked tired. Ethan said he was fine. I said he was always tired because he worried too much. People arrived in little waves. Danny's friends hugged me first. They asked how I was doing. I said I was doing great, and I added that marriage was work, especially when one person took everything personally. They laughed like I made a smart point. Ethan sat beside me and kept his hands folded near his plate. He looked like he was trying to be invisible. Claudia asked Ethan how work was. Ethan said it was busy and he had deadlines. Claudia asked if he ever relaxed. Ethan said he relaxed when he could. I jumped in and said he relaxed by judging everyone. Claudia laughed. Ethan looked at his water glass and did not respond. I felt a small rush, like I landed a hit and nobody defended him. The food came. People started talking louder. Danny told a story about a client at her salon. One of her friends asked me if I missed my single days. I saw Ethan's eyes flick up. He did not tell her to stop. He did not squeeze my hand. He just waited, like he was bracing for weather. I said I did not miss being single, but I did miss being free. Ethan asked what I meant by free. I said free to speak without a rule book. I said I was tired of being treated like my past was a crime. Danny's friend asked what past I meant. I said everybody had a past. I said mine was just more active than most. I watched the faces around the table. Some leaned in. Some smiled in a curious way. Ethan asked if we could not do this here. I said he always tried to control the room. He said he only wanted privacy. I said privacy was a word people used when they were ashamed. Danny nodded at me like I was brave. Then I did the thing I told myself I would never do, but also the thing I wanted to do most. I made a joke about my high body count. I said it in a playful tone. I said it like it proved I was confident. I said it like it was a funny story, not a sharp blade. The table reacted in waves. Danny laughed first and loudest. One of her friends covered her mouth and said she could not believe I said that. Claudia smiled, but her eyes moved fast, like she was checking who heard. A couple across from us laughed because everyone else laughed. It was like a small fire catching. Ethan did not laugh. His face went still. He asked me if I understood what I was doing to him. I said I was doing nothing to him, and I said he was choosing to feel attacked. He asked why I needed to say it in front of people. I said, because it was my life and my story. I said if he loved me, he would not be fragile about it. Someone asked Ethan if it bothered him. Ethan said he did not want to discuss personal things at dinner. I said he always said that when he did not want to admit he was insecure. Danny added that men like Ethan wanted pure women because they could not compete. I agreed and said respect followed results, and I had results. The words sounded powerful in my head. They sounded like I won. Piper sat between Ethan and me, swinging her legs. She looked from my face to Ethan's face, like she was reading a map. She asked why everyone was talking about Mommy's old boyfriends. I said it was adult talk and she should eat her chicken. Ethan told Piper to take her time and drink water. He said it softly and kept his eyes on her, not on me. That made me angry because it made him look like the good parent in the moment. Ethan asked me again to stop. I said he was embarrassing me by acting upset. Danny's friend asked if Ethan was always so sensitive. I said yes, and I added that it was exhausting. Ethan's shoulders lifted and fell, like he took one breath and put it down carefully. Claudia lifted her phone slightly, and I saw the camera lens catch the table lights. She was not filming openly, but she was not hiding either. I felt a strange thrill. I told myself a recording would prove Ethan's bad attitude later. I did not think about what else it would prove. Ethan did not raise his voice. He did not insult me. He looked at the people around us and nodded once, like he accepted something final. He reached into his wallet, signaled to Noah, and asked for the bill. Noah looked surprised because we were in the middle of the meal plan. Ethan said he would take care of it. Noah brought the card reader. Ethan paid the full amount, including tip, with a steady hand. Danny asked if Ethan was leaving. Ethan said he was done for tonight. I said he was being dramatic. Ethan stood, picked up Piper's coat and helped her put it on. Piper asked if we were going home. Ethan said yes, and he said she could sleep at Grandma's if she wanted. Piper looked at me and waited. I told her to go with Dad because he needed to calm down. Ethan did not argue with that. He just took Piper's hand. He told the table he hoped everyone had a good night. He said it in a normal voice, like he was leaving a work event. Then he walked away. The room went quiet for a second. Then people started whispering. Danny leaned toward me and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and Ethan always did this when he could not handle reality. I laughed too loud to force the mood back. A few people laughed with me, but it sounded thin. Claudia looked down at her phone and typed fast. Noah came over and asked if I wanted a ride home later. I said I did not need help, and I said Ethan would come back when he was done pouting. But while I sat there, I felt something shift under the table, like the floor moved and I was pretending it did not. I kept smiling anyway. I kept eating anyway. I kept talking like I still owned the night. When I got home that night, the house felt wrong. The lights were off in the living room. The kitchen looked too clean, like nobody lived there. I called Ethan's name once, loud enough to prove I was not scared. Nobody answered. I checked Piper's room first. Her bed was made. Her stuffed rabbit was still on the pillow, but her toothbrush was gone from the cup. That hit me harder than I expected. It meant Ethan planned ahead. It meant he did not just walk out to cool off. He packed our child like it was normal. I went to our bedroom and opened Ethan's closet. His shirts were still there, but there was extra space on his side. His shoes were lined up like a display. The nightstand on his side was empty except for a charger. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself it was a performance meant to scare me. My phone buzzed with messages from Danny. She asked if Ethan came back yet. I said no. She said he was trying to punish me. I said I knew. She told me to post something, just a small thing, so people would understand. I said I would not beg online. Then I opened my social app anyway. Claudia had already posted a short clip from the dinner. She did not tag Ethan, but she tagged the restaurant. In the clip, my voice carried the joke, and then Ethan stood up. It made him look cold because he did not explain. It made me look bold because I was smiling. I liked that at first. I told myself the internet loved confidence. I commented under it fast. I said some men could not handle a real woman. I added a laughing emoji. Danny replied with hearts. A few friends replied with support. It felt like a shield. 10 minutes later, Noah sent me a private message. He said he hoped everyone got home safe. He said Ethan looked upset, but he stayed respectful. He asked if Piper was okay. I replied that Piper was fine and Ethan was acting out. Noah did not argue. He only said he saw Ethan pay in full and leave calmly. That word calmly bothered me. I wanted someone to say Ethan stormed out. Calmly meant he had control. I went downstairs to get water and heard a soft sound from the hallway office. It was not music, it was not the TV. It was a low hum, like a small machine. I paused and listened. The hum stopped. The quiet after it felt heavy, like the house was holding its breath. I opened the office door. The desk was clear. The printer sat there with no paper sticking out. The shredder was tucked under the desk, but the top looked slightly warm, like it had been used. I leaned closer and smelled that faint toner smell again. It made my skin prickle. I told myself Ethan was cleaning up because he was neat. I told myself it meant nothing. Still, I checked the trash. It was empty. Too empty. Ethan was careful about recycling, but this was different. This was clean, like someone wanted no trace. I slept badly. I woke up twice to check my phone. There were no messages from Ethan. Not even one. That made me angry in a new way. I wanted him to ask me where I was. I wanted him to accuse me. If he accused me, I could cry and say he was cruel. But he did not give me that. In the morning, I drove to Janice and Robert's house without asking. I told myself I was going to pick up Piper. I told myself that was normal. When I arrived, Robert opened the door and stood in the frame like a wall. He asked what I wanted. I said I wanted my daughter. He said Piper was eating breakfast and she was calm. He asked if I came to fight. I said I came to fix things. Janice appeared behind him. She looked tired, not angry, which felt worse. She said Piper could not be in the middle. She said Ethan needed space. I told her Ethan was overreacting to a joke. Janice said it was not only a joke. I asked what she meant. She said I humiliated him in public and then acted proud. I said women should not be punished for having a past. She said nobody punished me for my past, but I punished Ethan with it. I tried to step inside. Robert asked me to wait on the porch. He said he would bring Piper out after she finished. I felt my face burn. I wanted to remind them I was the mother. I wanted to say I had rights. Instead, I forced my voice soft and said I understood. I told myself being polite would make them look harsh. Piper came out wearing her jacket and holding her rabbit. She ran to me, then stopped like she remembered something. She asked why Dad slept at Grandma's. I said Dad needed quiet because he was stressed. She asked if I made him sad. I said no, and I said adults just had misunderstandings. Piper asked if we were still a family. I said yes, too fast. Janice watched me like she did not believe me. In the car, Piper asked if we could go back to the restaurant again one day. I said maybe. She said she did not like when people laughed at Dad. I told her nobody laughed at Dad. She said they did. Her voice was small and sure. I changed the subject and asked about school. At the school pickup line later, I saw other parents glance at me. One mum smiled in a strange way, like she knew something. I told myself it was in my head. Then I saw my phone notifications. Claudia's clip had more views. Someone commented that Ethan looked done. Someone else asked what I did to make him leave like that. I typed a reply and deleted it 3 times. I wanted to say Ethan was controlling. I wanted to say he was cold. I wanted to say he made me lonely. None of it sounded strong enough. So I posted a story instead, a photo of my coffee and the caption, "Some men can't handle honesty." At the supermarket that evening, I noticed our joint card worked, but the receipt printed with a different balance than I expected. I stood at the checkout and stared at the numbers. I told myself it was a bank delay. I told myself Ethan would not mess with money. Ethan was too proper for games. When I got home, the guest room door was closed. I knocked and asked if Ethan was there. The room was empty. The bed was made, but the blanket looked slightly disturbed, like someone sat on it earlier. On the kitchen counter, I saw a second mug placed far from mine. It was such a small thing, but it felt like a line drawn between us. That night, I called Ethan. It went to voicemail. I texted him that we needed to talk. I added that he could not keep Piper from me. He did not reply. My phone buzzed with a message from Gavin. He asked if I was okay. I told him Ethan was being dramatic and trying to punish me. Gavin said maybe I should cool down and avoid drama for a bit. That made me furious. I wanted support, not distance. I typed that he promised he cared, then I erased it and sent a simple okay. I sat on the couch in the dark, and listened to the house. No footsteps, no TV, no normal sounds. I told myself Ethan would come back because he needed me. I told myself he was only acting strong. But somewhere under my pride, a new fear grew, quiet and steady, like a clock I could not turn off. I tried to act like I was still in charge, but my days started to feel smaller. Ethan did not chase me. He did not demand. He did not explode. He just moved around me like I was a piece of furniture he did not want to bump into. On Monday morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw 2 lunches packed. One was Piper's, the other was in a plain paper bag with Ethan's name on it in neat letters. My name was not on anything. Ethan poured cereal for Piper and asked if she had her homework. Piper said she did. Ethan asked if she wanted apple slices or grapes. Piper said grapes. He cut them in half, like he had all the time in the world. I asked Ethan if he was still sleeping at his parents' house. He said he slept where he could rest. I said he was being dramatic. He asked if I wanted to talk about the restaurant. I said it was not worth talking about because it was only a joke. He asked why a joke needed an audience. I said because I refused to be ashamed. He said shame and respect were not the same thing. I told him he was making words into weapons. He said he was trying to make words mean something again. At work, I kept checking my phone. I wanted messages from Ethan. I wanted anger, begging, anything. I got nothing. I got one short note that said he would pick up Piper and drop her off at school. There were no emojis, no extra words. It was like he was writing to a coworker. Gavin saw me in the hallway and asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was punishing me and acting cold. Gavin said he did not want to be involved. I asked what that meant. He said he had his own life and his own risks. I felt my stomach drop. I told him he said he cared. He said he cared, but he did not want drama. I said it was not drama, it was my marriage. He said that was exactly why he needed distance. I hated how fast he pulled away. It made the whole thing feel uglier. I wanted to tell myself Gavin was not important, but it was too late for that lie. I had made space for him in my head, and now the space felt empty and loud. That afternoon, my manager asked why I seemed distracted. I said I had family stress and I was handling it. She asked if I needed time off. I said no, because time off would mean sitting in my own thoughts. I stayed late instead, and when I walked past the conference rooms, I saw Ethan's name on a shared building directory. He did not work in my building, so it made no sense. I told myself it was a glitch. Then I told myself it was proof he was hiding something. When I got home, the guest room door was open. Ethan was not inside, but the bed looked used. A corner of the blanket was folded back. On the dresser, there was a small USB drive with a date written on a piece of tape. I picked it up and turned it over, like it could explain everything. Then I put it back fast because touching it felt like stepping into a trap. Piper ran to me and asked if we could all go to the park after dinner. I said we would see. Ethan walked in from the garage with a grocery bag and set it on the counter. He asked Piper if she wanted to wash her hands. Piper said yes and ran to the sink. Ethan asked me if I could talk later, alone. I said I was tired of his serious talks. He said he was tired too. After Piper went to bed, Ethan asked me to meet him at the coffee shop by the Riverwalk the next day during lunch. He said it was a public place and it would be calm. I said he was scared to talk at home. He said he wanted to avoid yelling. I said I did not yell. He looked at me for a long second and said, "We both raised the temperature, just in different ways." The next day at the coffee shop, Ethan sat with his hands around a paper cup. He looked like he had slept. That annoyed me. I wanted him broken, not rested. He asked if I understood what happened at the dinner. I said yes, and I said he embarrassed me by leaving. He said he paid the bill and left to keep it lawful and quiet. I said nobody asked him to act like a saint. He said he was not acting like anything. He was choosing what he could live with. He asked if I had been faithful. I laughed like it was a rude question. I asked if he was really accusing me. He said he was asking. I said he was insecure and controlling. He said he did not control me, and the proof was that I did what I wanted. I told him I felt lonely and I needed attention. He asked if loneliness gave permission to lie. I said I did not lie. I just kept things private. He asked why my privacy needed secrecy. I said he was twisting words again. I tried to flip it like I always did. I said he stopped trying. I said he became boring. I said he made me feel old. He asked when I last tried to build something with him. I said, I tried every day by staying in the marriage. He said staying was not the same as showing up. I watched the people around us sip coffee and talk about normal things. It made me feel trapped, like my life was turning into a case study. I lowered my voice and said he was punishing me because he could not accept my past. He said this was not about my past. It was about my present choices. I said he did not understand modern life. He said modern life still had consequences. He pulled out his phone and turned it face down on the table, like he was refusing to let it become a weapon. Still, I heard a soft beep from it, a small alarm. He glanced down and turned it off without looking at me. I caught the label for a second. Paper drop. My throat tightened. I asked what paper drop meant. He said it was a reminder. I asked what papers. He said it was personal. I leaned forward and said he was hiding things again. He leaned back and said he was handling things. I said he was trying to scare me. He said he was trying to protect Piper and himself. I said I was Piper's mother and he could not shut me out. He said he was not shutting me out. He was setting rules. When we stood to leave, I tried one last push. I said if he kept acting cold, I would tell everyone he was punishing me for being honest. He looked at me like he was seeing me clearly for the first time. He asked if I really wanted to keep performing in public. I said I would do what I had to do. He said he would do what he had to do too. Outside, the wind off the river was sharp. Ethan held the door for an older woman and stepped aside to let people pass. He did not rush. He did not glare. He did not clench his fists. He was calm in a way that made me feel unsafe because I could not pull him into my chaos. Before he walked to his car, he faced me and spoke in the same steady tone he used with clients on speakerphone. He said he would handle it properly. The next morning, I woke up with a tight throat and a hot face, like I had swallowed smoke. I checked my phone before I even sat up. There was one message from Ethan. He said he would bring Piper's backpack to school and then handle errands. He did not write love or anything soft. It was just facts. Then I saw Noah's message again, the one that asked me to meet in the office tower lobby for a quick word. I told myself it was about the restaurant clip. I told myself he wanted to help me fix the story. I dressed like I was going to win. In the car, I practiced lines in my head. I told myself I would act calm. I told myself I would be the reasonable one. I said Ethan was trying to control me with silence, and I would not let him. The office tower lobby was bright and cold. People walked past with badges and coffee. The sound echoed off the floors. I saw Noah near a seating area by a plant wall. He looked nervous, like he wanted to disappear. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I asked where Ethan was. Noah said Ethan would be here soon. I asked why this needed to be here. Noah said Ethan asked for a public place, and he did not want trouble. That word again. Trouble. Like I was the one who caused it. A few minutes later, I saw Ethan walk in. He was not alone. Janice was there, standing a little behind him with Piper's backpack on one shoulder. Piper was holding Janice's hand and rubbing her eyes like she just came from a nap or an early morning. Ethan looked clean and rested, in a way that felt almost rude. I stood up fast and walked toward them. I asked Ethan why Piper was here. Ethan said Piper would be with Janice for a bit, and he wanted the handoff to be clear. I said he was using our child like a shield. He said he was using structure, not a shield. Piper looked at me and did not run. She asked if we were going home later. I told her yes, of course, and I smiled too wide. Ethan said Piper would follow the plan for today. I asked what plan. He said we would all know the plan in a minute. I laughed and asked if he was being dramatic again. He did not react. He nodded at Noah like Noah was just a witness, not a friend. Noah looked down at his shoes. Then a woman in a plain blazer walked toward us. She did not look angry or excited. She looked like she had done this before. She asked if I was Araminta Hale. I said yes, and I asked who she was. She said she had documents for me. I asked if she was serious. She said yes and held out an envelope. My first instinct was to step back. I said I would not take anything. She said she could place it near me and note that service was complete. Ethan stayed still. Janice did not blink. Piper stared at the floor. I said Ethan could not do this in public. Ethan said he chose public so I would not twist it later. I said he was cruel. Ethan said he was being lawful. The woman placed the envelope on the small lobby table beside the plant wall. She said my name again to confirm. She said the date and time out loud like it mattered more than feelings. Noah's face went pale. I picked up the envelope with 2 fingers, like it was dirty. I opened it right there because I needed to know what I was fighting. The top page said it was a divorce filing with temporary orders. My eyes jumped from line to line. Words like temporary, schedule, exclusive use, and restrictions hit me like cold water. I said this was too fast. Ethan said it was not fast, it was overdue. I said he planned this behind my back. He said he planned it after I made my choices in the open. I tried to keep my voice low, but it cracked. I said he was punishing me over a joke. Ethan said this was not about a joke, and he said it was about disrespect, public shaming, and broken trust. I said he was acting like I cheated. He looked at me for a long second, then said he did not need my confession to protect himself. He told me, in a calm voice, what the temporary orders meant. He said Piper's schedule would start today. He said school days and weekends were set in writing. He said pick-up and drop-off times were fixed, so there would be no fights at doors. He said Janice would be the exchange person when needed, to keep it calm. I said he could not control my time with my child. He said the court could set temporary structure, and this structure was already approved for now. He did not say it with pride. He said it like a person reading weather. I looked down again and saw rules about money. It said certain accounts were protected. It said big spending needed agreement. It said the home use was assigned for now. It said I could not change passwords or move funds. My mouth went dry. I told Ethan he was overreacting and being petty. He said he was safeguarding, not being petty. I said he was trying to ruin me. He said he was trying to stop me from ruining him. Then I saw the part that made my stomach flip. It said I had to stop posting about Ethan, the marriage, and the case. It said I had to remove certain content and not encourage others to harass him. I heard my own pulse in my ears. I thought about Claudia's clip, my caption, the comments, all the little pushes I made to shape the crowd. I said he was silencing me. He said it was called restraint, and it was there because I used public shame like a weapon. I said I only spoke my truth. He said truth did not need an audience to hurt someone. I turned to Janice and asked if she supported this. Janice said Piper needed peace. She said peace did not grow in a home with jokes that cut. I turned to Noah and asked if he thought this was fair. Noah said he only saw Ethan stay calm and leave respectfully that night, and he did not want to be part of any online mess. I tried to cry, then I stopped, because crying felt useless in that bright lobby. I tried anger next. I said Ethan was cold and heartless. Ethan said he was done debating feelings. He said the plan was set for now, and changes would happen through proper channels, not through fights. Piper looked up and asked if she could go get a snack. Janice said yes and squeezed her hand. Ethan crouched slightly and told Piper he would see her soon and that it was okay to love both parents. Piper nodded like she wanted to believe him. A lobby guard walked closer, not threatening, just alert. He asked if we could move to the side because we were blocking the walkway. I stood there with the papers in my hands, feeling suddenly too visible. Ethan stepped aside without a word, like he respected the guard's job. Janice guided Piper toward the exit. Ethan followed them. I said Ethan could not just walk away. Ethan did not turn around. He walked out with Piper, calm and straight, while I stood under the lobby lights, holding the proof that the story was no longer mine to control.